We're going to go ahead and transition now. I'm going to pass the baton to Dr. Raleigh Kali-Rai, and he will have a few words and then introduce Paisley Rosengren to us, and we'll just continue this day. So Dr. Raleigh.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you, Rabbi, for starting the program out in the eloquent way that you always do. So we appreciate your presence. Truly, we do. Again, thank you, everybody. And please let me engage you for a few moments and share a few thoughts, as well as then introduce a dear colleague of mine, Ms. Paisley Rosengren. As we reflect on the election and why we are here today, we all may have different reasons. However, fundamental to that is that we have been provided a system of government that allows for its populace to voice their opinions by voting. And in this past election, our country turned out the largest percentage of eligible voters in over a century, with over 151 million people voting. That's over 70 million Americans voted in a manner different than you did, voted different than I did. Fundamentally, by all validated sources, the election was conducted by a fair and just manner, and that there was no evidence of any type of voting system deleted or losing votes, changing votes, or any way that it was compromised. The November 3rd election was the most secure in American history, as I quote the Washington Post from the 16th of this month. But then that begs to ask the bigger question. How will we work together moving forward as a nation with over 70 million of us voted in an opposing opinion? We think differently. And who should run the country? How do we peacefully coexist? How do we share ideas and create a unified nation once again from what we have right now? Honestly, when I think back on it, I believe it'll take hard work and individual sacrifice because we really need to bring together over 150 million people together again who disagree with each other. And we simply cannot rely on the two individuals who have been rightfully elected to take over, each of them taking on 35 million apiece to take on the other half, because they just can't do that. We each need to start changing our minds and interacting with other people and listening to them and opening ourselves up by being vulnerable, having uncomfortable dialogues to set the foundations for mutual trust to take root. That's work that each and every one of us need to conduct. Only then can the nation be trusted again and rely on the power of truth once again to reign. I believe the other day I heard our past president, Mr. President Obama, speak of a phrase that caught my attention. He talked about truth decay. And I honestly believe that we do live in a time of truth decay, where lies have created huge cavities in our collective conscience. When a time when fear, self-preservation, and greed have taken hold. We must change that, and we must change it one person at a time, starting with ourselves. And that really brings me to Paisley and introducing her. I have met very few people as in tune with being able to change oneself and heal oneself than Paisley. She's an advocate and ally for change starting from within. I had the inspiring experience of hearing Paisley share a gem from her past a few weeks ago in a committee meeting. And I wrote a passage below in her honor, and I'm going to share that with you. It was a personal story that she shared with the group, the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion group. And I made a small poem or story regarding that, so I'll share that with you. And it starts, between the wall and the furnace, history was made. It was where between the fire and stone cold wall where the tools of revolution were kept. They were handmade of scrap wood and paint picked for its power to inspire change, not its color. Sharp and pointed in the message they conveyed with splintered edges and soul-cutting words. Dangerous and powerful they were. I was told not to touch. Nevertheless, I secretly crept downstairs to marvel at their power. They were the signs my parents and their friends, allies, used in civil rights marches and protests. Stronger than the police batons that would beat the protesters back with a thud and a whack. Signs made of the strongest scrap wood ever. It held up dreams, my parents' dreams for me. Between the wall and the furnace was where history was made, with scraps of wood, paint, and words of change. When Paisley shared that story with me, it inspired me, and that's what led for me to share it in this manner, and I appreciate her allowing me to do this and share it with you all. It is my honor to introduce Ms. Paisley Rosengren, MS, LMFT, 200-hour RYT, Paisley Rosengren is a licensed marriage and family therapist and a registered yoga teacher. She is the interim university director, diversity officer, and the learning specialist at Torrey University, California. Before becoming the learning specialist at Torrey University, Ms. Rosengren was a K-12 teacher and support provider, county mental health clinician, a bike mechanic, and had her own private practice. She has been a teacher, providing responsive teaching practices, academic support, counseling, and community resources to families in the Vallejo community. She enjoys nature, time with her family, and most of all, learning new things. Paisley has been practicing yoga for over 15 years. She's a mindfulness instructor and restorative justice facilitator, both skills she honed during her time working in the Vallejo school system. It is my honor to introduce my dear colleague, Paisley Rosengren.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Raleigh. That was absolutely lovely. I'd like to, of course, thank Dr. Raleigh, Dr. Ononuju, Dr. Schweitzer, Dr. Cummings, Dr. Norton, and really the whole Toro community for having me here today. Dr. Raleigh speaks of that warm memory that I have of being a rebel even back then and sneaking downstairs to touch the sign that my father had made when he marched on Washington with my mom. My dad's an artist and he really fancies calligraphy. So you can imagine how magical and powerful those signs seem to, you know, a young girl who felt like she could go downstairs and sneak downstairs and find that little space between the furnace and the wall and touch those amazing panels. So now we're living in a divided country. We've see the election results. It feels a little to know that 47.3% of the nation chose to vote for a person whose 2016 campaign rally cry was "Build a Wall." But it's also an exciting time, right? Because we have a new president who's a man who's served in the public life as a public servant for over half a century. I mean, who's done anything for over half a century, right? And he's served the needs of the people to do the best he could do to provide for a beautiful life for people. And then, I mean, this is one I reflect on a lot. We have a Black South Asian woman from Oakland as our vice president. I mean, just roll those words around in your head for a minute. I mean, I've had a lot of Black South Asian students from Oakland roll through my classrooms, but vice president, it blows my mind in such a beautiful way, right? I feel like our nation's on an amazing journey, gets bumpy sometimes. We take turns and go places maybe we wish we hadn't gone, but we just, we keep on rolling. So here today, we're going to reflect on some ways to heal and grow and move forward. And for me, what I lean into is compassion, is finding that compassionate space inside my own body, inside my own heart. I use that to listen to all Americans, all the people that I encounter along my journey as they try to navigate complex issues. We all come from such different places with different experiences, education, opportunities, access. It's important that we have the ability or expand our capacity to access compassion. So for that, I have a little meditation for us today. So it might be simple, but it's something that I lean into whenever I start to feel angry and frustrated or stuck with a certain group of people or things that I see happening. It always just frees me and opens me up to be more compassionate, because that's where the work is. We can't stay angry. We have to come to a place where we can come together and share ideas and grow and heal together. So with all of my meditations, all of my offerings, this is an offering. So if anything I say doesn't resonate with you, just skip it and do what feels right for you in the moment. So first, let's just take a nice deep breath in through our nose. Let it out through your mouth and land. Just let your body be in a comfortable shape in the space that you're in right now. And take a moment and just observe how you're feeling in your body and in your mind. As you check in with your breath, maybe notice what you're experiencing. Maybe you have some feelings of anger or frustration, or maybe there are feelings of joy, of love, of excitement. But just try to accept these feelings for what they are, and don't try to attach any judgment to them. Maybe you are angry, but just be at peace with the anger. Maybe you're feeling frustrated, but no, that's okay. And now, really just tune into your breath. Notice your breath as it moves into and it flows out of your body. Giving all of those thoughts, all of those emotions, just give them space by bringing your attention to the breath, moving in and moving out, so the mind can become settled and calm. Keep going, breathing in, releasing out, letting the shoulders, letting the body be soft, bringing compassion into your own space, bringing compassion to yourself as you sit, with whatever feelings you're feeling. One more nice breath in and releasing it out. And now I'd like you to think of someone. Maybe it's someone you know. Perhaps it's someone you know very well, or maybe you choose somebody that you don't know really well. And if you really want to push and stretch your capacity for compassion, think of someone different than you. Maybe someone who looks different, who has different political values, who worships differently, or who loves in a way that's different from you. So bring an image of that person into your mind and picture that person smiling. Really look at their face and see the joy that radiates from them in their smile, in their eyes, in their face. And now imagine that person is doing something that they really enjoy, and that they're surrounded by people who love them and share in that joy. Just imagine that person surrounded by love. Now, as you're picturing that person, send these thoughts towards that person. Some people like to imagine almost like a golden light of energy flowing from them to the person. Some people think of it as almost musical notes waving in the air, just being generated towards that person without any sense of wanting to receive anything back, but it's as though you're giving a gift. So here are the things, here are the thoughts you're going to send. Now you can whisper them to yourself, or you can just say it inside your mind, whatever feels right for you. Inhale, release. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be at peace. May you be calm. May you be loved. Now go ahead, check back in with your breath, and notice how you feel in your body and your mind now. Recognize the thoughts, the feelings that are surrounding you, that are inside of you, and accept them without feeling a need to change them. Together, let's inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause 1, 2, and exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause 1, 2. If this feels okay for you, take a nice deep inhale and bring your arms up and overhead, reaching high. And then exhale like you're swimming through water. Let your breath return to its natural pace. And as you feel ready, return to the space. So know that this meditation, it's always here, it's always available to you. Just picturing someone and sending kind thoughts to them. And you can even do this meditation with yourself. You can imagine yourself receiving these wonderful, kind thoughts in a time when maybe you feel like you need a little extra lift and a little extra kindness. As always, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share this wonderful energy, this joy, this compassion, and to really connect with all of you. So as we go forward, let's all be love, feel love, and share love. Thank you all so much for your time and for this connection. And thank you for the Toro community for including me in this wonderful event. And now I'm off. I'm headed to the food drive that we're having today down on campus in front of Lander Hall from 12 to 1. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Paisley. That was awesome. I found myself just going along with the prompts and definitely makes a difference. Great way to start us off today. So we have about a 20-minute break between now and our next speaker, Mr. Ashanti Branch. He will be coming on at 11. He has kindly provided me with a playlist. And so in the interim, while we wait on Mr. Branch to come on, I will be playing his songs and we'll come back around probably around 10:58 to get us back ready so that 11 o'clock we can move forward.
Pleased to meet you. Me, I'm me. Who are you? Let's take a tour of the top of the